Kingearner coming to you live and direct. First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to Khalid the Barber. You know, the Barber Club in Atlanta. That's my man. Grew up cutting my hair. Um, the nice topic is on El Chapo. El Chapo. No, listen to me. El Chapo is not a rat. El Chapo is not a confidential informant. El Chapo was supposedly, this is what is in Google and what I've seen under a lot of different topics about El Chapo is that he reached out to the government some time ago when he was in a situation and, you know, he was supposed to have been trying to give up to his rivals. This is what was said. I'm not carrying that, and I can't go and look up United States versus El Chapo or Gunsman, whatever his name is, and see a recording of him being a rat or any type of paperwork of him being a rat. I ain't talking about the PSI. I'm talking about sentencing transcripts, and the sentencing transcript would show that a district attorney gave some type of leniency, or when it was asked about when it's time for sentencing, the judge asked, is there any downward departures? They would say, he has a 5K1 for corroborating and giving up, blah, 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 blah. None of that on El Chapo. So we can honestly say that, El Chapo is a man of honor. A lot of people get misunderstood when I speak on what a man of honor is. Listen to me. First of all, a man of honor have to had some time or another been through it in the streets. When I say been through it in the streets, he had to have been arrested. He has to have been tested. He has to have been underneath a serious, serious pressure in order for me to give him the name man of honor. Now, when it comes down to restoring the honor, I restored the honor. The word honor has been out here in a big way. Honorable Ernest wasn't out here. Pure Honor wasn't out here. Honor Your Life campaign wasn't out here. So we must begin to understand that when I say I'm restoring the honor, I'm giving it back to the people in a positive way. I'm taking all the negativity out of it and washing it for the dudes that been in jail 20, 30 years, the dudes that stood tall, the dudes who, even the ones that wasn't the toughest ones in the world, who just, kept their mouth shut and accepted what they done. And that's what's going on in our world. A lot of people aren't accepting it. So, that's not what's going on. People aren't accepting their responsibility. People aren't saying, you know what? I'm not going to bring down 1 million people. You got individuals, man, the feds are running their mother house. The feds are running their friend's house. And them people won't raise their hand and say, you know what? At the end of the day, my wrong I done, I'm standing on that. We don't need to go to trial because I don't need these innocent people getting caught up and just taking theirs. No one does that nowadays. Individuals will actually have a situation going on and the folks are running your house. You know what them people would do? Say, oh, we all going to trial. So, and to be innocent individuals, you'll have grandmothers and mothers and aunts and sisters and people losing their jobs, all because you wanted to be a butthead and bring drugs to the home or, talk in the home or on the phone. Whatever the case may be, I feel as though I needed to restore this honor for individuals such as myself that want to get a youth and want to give, individuals the understanding of honor. A lot of people don't understand how honor is being restored. Well, take me, for example, the type of individual I was and all the bad things that you heard about me and the bad things that I've done. I'm a different individual now. So the honor is restored within me. I'm not that guy anymore. I'm not the one who does all the wrong things. I mean, I'm pretty sure from the social media, from the internet, everybody knows every wrong thing I have done because most of my enemies, this is where they come to because none of them faces me face to face, all of them for some odd reason. I mean, it's not like I want to kill these guys or do anything to harm them. I mean, the only thing I have is these hands, and they've been through some things. These hands, they fought all my life. I don't have no problem with defending and protecting myself. But majority of my enemies, this is where they come. They take the shots here. And guess what? It has gotten me further than I ever expected in a fast manner. Because I only been speaking to the youth for almost 2 years now. And honestly, to be the truth, I made a lot of honorable things happen for the youth, outside of them receiving brand new sneakers and clothes and money and trans passes, I've gave them the understanding that there is no honor in the streets. And El Chapo was a prime example of it not being no honor in the streets. No matter how much money he had, he couldn't go back into the old times like that rat Pablo Escobar did. You remember Pablo was buying his own jails and staying in his own country and things of this nature. You know, El Chapo didn't have that privilege. You know what I mean? First of all, we all understand that Pablo Escobar was probably one of the richest drug lords to ever in the world, period. World. You know, especially in the United States, but the world, period. And my understanding of Pablo Escobar is that he done that with a lot of strength and a lot of power. That's how he ruled the whole world when it came down to drugs. And at that time, the police officers wasn't as quick to understand what was going on. The government wasn't as quick to understand. So, you know, a lot of people wind up getting arrested and in trouble, but he fed a lot of people, the rat did. That Pablo Escobar, he fed a lot of people. And you had people like Rosada Blanca who stood taller than him. You know what I mean? That's another story, because I'm going to speak on her in another YouTube vlog. Now, for the individuals who are very upset at me about these rats, I want you to know that you're making up things in your head about the rats. You're making up these positive things and you're saying, well, you're talking about that rat and that rat done this, that rat done that. No, that rat, I don't care what he done, he or she, I don't care what they done. Whatever a rat done in their past is irrelevant. That's why Nicky Barnes and Alpo and Sammy the Boy, these guys getting over a recognition, they're always going to be the scum of the earth, because at the end of the day, a rat don't get no recognition for nothing they done in the past. But if we had these type of platforms when I was coming up as a child, or even in the early 80s and the 70s and stuff like that, I think we probably would have less crime. But we didn't have these things back then. So the Nicky Barneses and a lot of the different Alpos, they got away with their crime so long because nobody really knew until these platforms came out and getting these phone conversations, which I want y'all to understand. I do a lot of, you know, speaking on positive things in the community to the youngins, and I speak on this because I feel like rats are the most infested thing that's harming our community, because it's teaching us to all become that. And you know, I'm glad I'm out of the streets because I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about ever putting myself in a position to ever be in front of law enforcement again. You know what I'm saying? And if I was ever put in a position to be in front of law enforcement and I am innocent, I'm going to let the case present me innocent. I don't have nothing to say to anybody. I would usually get a lawyer or a mouthpiece to speak up for me, and I would advise you guys to do the same, because what's happening is once you get into the police district, they're saying things that you're saying, and you're just signing because you upset because somebody lied and put a homicide on you. You upset because somebody didn't lie and said you stole a car. You know, I'm talking from the highest of the crimes to the lowest of the crimes. You don't have to speak, and it's a right of yours. And although none of us ever get red-eye rights, I'm allowing you guys to know that's a right of yours. You have a right to remain silent, and you have a right to get a lawyer and let your lawyer speak to you. Just make sure that your lawyer is on your team, because you have a lot of paid lawyers that are against you also, because majority of the drug cases the feds are grabbing, and a lot of the lawyers are scared to go up against the feds, or they rather sell you out for a later down, you know, favor. But my concerns is, no matter what I say about these individuals, the El Chapos, the John Gottis, the guys that stood firm, the Wayne Perrys, I still don't want the youngins. I don't want y'all to think that these guys are dudes to follow. I don't want you to think that it's okay to follow them or honor them in any way when it comes down to the negative part of it. I want you to look into the positive things that you heard about John Gotti do and say, you know what? He had to be a good person. And some of the negative things that they lied on him about, you have to say to yourself, and maybe he didn't issue that hit on so-and-so. Or maybe he didn't disrespect that lady or this man like that so-and-so that was an elder or whatever the case may be. And maybe people are lying on him to make a big picture of him being a bad guy. I remember John Gotti for doing things for his community, for his neighborhood. That's why I always speak positive on him when I speak on him. My grandmother honored him, so I honor him. I see individuals that have a concern more for the negativity that's being spoken opposed to the direction of helping the youngins. And a lot of people don't have to believe it and don't have to look at it like that. They can say, man, it's a waste of time that you speaking on confidential informants and you speaking on rats that get in trouble, that tell on their own friends and their family members, is a waste of breath. You can look at it like that all you want, but I know it's not a waste of breath. You know why? Because it's your child that goes to the corner of that block every day before he goes to school and see that guy in that Benz that's rented or that Benz that's financed, and he thinks that guy is better than his role model at home. He thinks he's better than his father because you see that guy with the flashy money, and he knows his father goes to work every day and barely can, handle all the bills like he want to handle them. So it's looked at like how Bronx Tale was. If you remember how Bronx Tale was, he honored the boy more than he honored his own father. You know what I'm saying? So you got to start zeroing in on certain things and letting the children know that these drug dealers, these big time flamboyant individuals are the rats. When our children, when our youth hear this, you think they're going to want to deal with these individuals? No, they're going to run from them as far as possible. And a lot of them are going to look for that job or look for that school to go to, opposed to wasting their time and wasting their life trying to figure out how they can be like a person who went through the street life and claimed the street life but end up going against the streets by telling. So I don't think a child would want to continue to do that. And a lot of things that's going on now, and especially with the rappers being killed and with it being seen public, you got the guy Tekashi 6ix9ine who's starting up a lot of beef, and then when the stuff coming back to him, he don't really want the smoke. And it's like, it's kind of bad, man. And I can understand why AR Ab started that campaign, him and Leak Moss, called No Smoke campaign, because he had a song called People Don't Want No Smoke. So it was pointing out a negative light in the community. But they said, you know what, man, this to allow the communities know and what's going on in the community at these times and how many, deaths are in our city. We need to, speak some sense into these youngins and start a no smoke campaign. So I support them with that. And I support a lot of the rappers. Now, I know a lot of people are going to go into the comments and say, I don't like you. How can you support people that talk about? But I don't look at it like that. I look at it as if a child isn't growing up in the home finding it out from his parents, that, what's going on out in the streets. He has to find it out from somewhere. And our rappers are the ones that they're going to find it out from. And I'm pretty sure as a parent, you should tell your child that crime isn't the way to go and rappers aren't the people to listen to. Now, for the children who parents aren't going to tell them that, they're going to find out either the hard way or they're just going to listen to the music and take it as what? Entertainment. I look at it as a rapper is speaking about his past life, his pain. And when that rapper speaks about his pain, it helps us relate and understand, especially for the individuals who never was in the streets. You can't understand it because guess what? A lot of y'all that's on the YouTube, a lot of people, not a lot of them, but majority of them never been in the streets. I can tell by the comments. If you was in the streets, you wouldn't be worried about me and what's going on in my past. Everybody knows my past. My past, because of my past, because people have went public about my past, it's got me over 20,000 followers, close to 20,000 followers. Not only that, it's gotten me a lot of jobs because a lot of people that I work for, They want to make sure that the person that's speaking really had this past. So they ask me, I seen this or I seen that. Is that true? I do no lying. I tell them it's true. And you know what usually happens? It gets me a better job. But the individuals that see me doing the positive things, they get so frustrated when they see me doing good and so positive because they see my strength and they know my strength that they go crazy again. They can't help themselves. They got to speak on Kingearner. I've begun to accept it and embrace it. The reason why I've begun to accept it and embrace it because I've learned that hate is your best promotion. And if you really change, you won't comment. You won't reply to them people that's hating on you. You would have to be the biggest liar to respond, to go on any type of social media and fight with an individual. If you think what I'm doing is fighting with individuals here when I speak about the rats and the individuals, nah, I don't know these people. So it can't be a fight. It's me warning my community. It's me warning the community of Harlem for the good men that's in Harlem that say, oh, pause, I don't want to take the same take as Cameron or Mace. We don't need this ball around, period. So what we're going to do ourselves as men, we'll get in contact with him. Bring, as men do. Listen, we know all about you. We have children walking around that looked up to you that didn't know. If you are going to come in the community outpost, come and speak about your past life and tell the children how you turned into a confidential informant when you was the person doing the killing. You was the person issuing the hits. You see? Let them know the bad parts of it, and then I can understand the rats being in the community, because in a community that I once lived in the feds, they'll tell you that if they was on my block, if they lived on my block and they were a rat, they had to stay amongst themselves. Only time they were allowed to be amongst us is during prayer time, and that has to do with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We can't mix the two. So prayer and the salams are what? Are obligatory upon them. So of course, the things that's obligatory, I try to stick hard to, because guess what? I'm not no way close to competing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or going against him. I can't do it. I can't even begin to talk bad about individuals when it comes down to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I can't do it. But I'm pretty sure that if it was 1,400 years ago and these betrayers, these individuals who was in a crime with individuals, betrayed their friends, they would be exiled, they would be looked at. Because on the day of Yom Kippur, there's going to be a flag raised for every person who betrayed whoever. So I'm letting all the betrayers know, even the ones that are rats that are out here. A lot of dudes is going in on a rapper guy who just turned rat. I'm not saying his name. The reason why I'm not saying his name, because I don't say individuals' names I know that are rats. I'm able to walk up to them if they're in my city or if they're in my town. I'm able to say, you're a rat, stay away from the youngins. Or come and speak on that. If you want to be accepted in our community, come and speak on it and tell the youngins why they shouldn't, and tell them what you done, and tell them you told because of the attachments and the things that you had in this world, and you didn't have enough strength to let them go like the other guys did that was amongst your indictment. I just want people to be fair amongst one another. I don't want people to be lying on Blow Joe Mo from Idaho in order to come home. It doesn't have no honor to it, because it doesn't help the problem at hand. The government knows that. When these big-time drug dealers getting immunity for homicides and extortions and different big indictments, all it does is recycle crime over and over again. And all most of you guys do is bigger more. And y'all don't know that guy. Y'all thought he just came home. Y'all thought he was a good man. Y'all don't know that he already told on somebody. You just don't know he told on them. You wasn't in the courtroom. But I bet you if you pull them sentencing transcripts up, it's going to say that he gave a 5K1 and he was cooperative. It's so many Nino Browns, so many guys who's waiting to get on the stand and just dance on their family, dance on their friends, and they're the ones that brought the idea. Just imagine. You backed up on all your bills. You can't pay none of them. You got a bunch of kids. family member come to you and say, yo, let's go ahead and get this money real quick. I'm getting this. And you really see it and you say, cuz, man, you know, can I get in and get out real quick? And they like, yeah, you can get in and get out. You ain't never sold a drug or done that in your life. You go ahead and sell that drug with them that 1 month or that 1 week. Before you know it, you're doing 30 years. You knew the decision, but as a blood, as a person, when I say a blood, that's your family. You don't think that it would have been more honorable for him to say, you know what? I'm going to take all this, because at the end of the day, you know, you were just trying to get a couple dollars, and I could have gave it to you out of my pocket. You know what I'm saying? And I want a lot of the youngest to know this. Stop coming home from jail taking the money from the guys who sell the drugs that are informers. You know why? Because they're recording that also. The minute they give you the money, you become a part of their organization, and now you're losing. You know what I'm saying? It's better off that you tell them to give you something positive. You know what I'm saying? Buy me a pool table. Buy me a ping pong table. Buy me some chess boards. Something I can learn mentally. Don't just go ahead and give me some cash and next month I'm indicted. You know what I'm saying? So, and I want to give a warning to the brothers that come straight home and they try to, you know, get in the mix in reference to clothes, phones, and stuff like that. And that stuff start being like a trophy for them, a reward. Every time they do something, they have to get something in order for them. Like, you know, they got to get something flashy in order to go around their homies to be accepted. I don't honor that because I never had to be accepted from clothes and things. But you know what? I used to run up and, you know, run a bill up on that stuff until I realized that it didn't have no never mind, man. Until I realized that the money that I was spending on clothes could have been going into my houses, you know. The way I live now was a lot different. I used to live like more of a caveman, you know what I'm saying? I learned that, number one, you can't live in where you're from. When you live in where you're from and you change like I did, a lot of people take stabs at you because they don't believe it and they want you to hurt them. And if you hurt them, because a lot of people fall in that trick, and I don't, for the person that make the mistake, you know, it's wrong to do, but you didn't fall off or you didn't become a bad individual. You just had to start over again. And that's what I'm not going to do. In order for me to have to transgress against an individual, they have to be coming at me full force. I want them to be coming at me straight up and down. So my defense is honor, you know what I'm saying? I don't want it to be them retreating, you know, and I'm letting everybody know about this, man. It's a law called the Castle Doctrine, you know what I'm saying? It can do on your vehicle, it can do in your house, any home that you own. You know, I was locked up with an individual, man, and the boy went to jail for defending himself. Person came into the house, and he was a white guy too. It wasn't like there was favoritism. The person came in the house, and when they came into his home, he caught them leaving. He killed them leaving. Nah, you can't do that. That's against the law. That's how they say it. This is what they on. That man got life and never been in jail a day in his life. You know? If they coming at you forcefully, you defend yourself, man. With whatever it is possible, you need to defend yourself. If you're a felon, the worst thing that can happen to you is what? You're going to jail for that gun. But you're not going to go to prison for aggravating assault and or harming somebody that's trying to harm you that comes into your home or your vehicle. Remember, it's called the Castle Doctrine. Don't forget that I'm giving y'all these things and I'm not just talking. And I don't want to never be labeled as a guy. You're never going to catch me calling people on the phone. Listen, let y'all hear this or screenshot and anything. I don't do any of that. I don't have the time for that. My goal is to get the youngest. I'm very well versed in reference to the rats because I dislike them. I hate rats, not dislike them. I hate them because they're the worst kind. They're the people that cause you to get in trouble and then tell on you. I don't understand that. Or make up lies on you because the government allows that to get away also. They allow people to make up lies on individuals and get away, especially the ones that they got on payroll. I don't want to hold y'all too long, but if you notice, the topic was on El Chapo. I can't speak nothing bad on the man. I don't know what to tell y'all. El Chapo isn't a rat. El Chapo is sturdy, he is still firm. Anybody that find any information out about him, I want y'all to understand this and I want you to understand it right now. Make sure it's of truth, because Pablo Escobar information was kind of hidden, but when you read it and you go into the court documents, he been a rat, man. You know what I'm saying? And remember, y'all haters is the best marketing team you have. Let them go live and hate on you, because that's how you get the most followers. Let them continue to hate and say your name. Don't you say nothing back. Don't you get on this Instagram, and don't you get on them Facebooks, and don't you get on nothing and say nothing back. You know why? The minute you say something, I'm going to look at you like it's the truth. Because at the end of the day, why could you care about a guy who got your name in their mouth? Why should you care? Let them talk. You know why? Anybody that has that type of energy is a rat. You know, they're a potential rat. Their goal is to go in that direction of trying to figure out how to lock you with somebody else up. Nix all of that. Let them talk, man. And while they talk, you continue to get a community of positivity like I do. You continue to write your books, whatever you're doing, and you stay busy and you stay away from suckers, and you always stay ready. That's number one, because people are going to hate you. They're going to hate you. You make sure that you're a felon, that you got some licensed, carried individuals around you that can bust their gun and protect you, because at the end of the day, if you bust your own gun and protect you, you're going to jail. And they're going to be happy. Yeah. Oh, no, I told you was no good. And you didn't put all this work in trying to help and help these kids and do the right thing. It's different times, individuals. It's different times. And guess what? These different times causes for drastic measurements only by the rats. Men, we don't got to do that. We got jobs and stuff. We got 9-to-5s. We got contracts. We got different people who support us. And, you know, we helping the kids. And that's the main goal. If there's any other dudes that hate rats and know not to kill the rats, because you better know not to kill the rats or even attempt to kill them. You know what happens? They'll get time off, and if they're in a bad situation, I'm hearing that from a lawyer. A lawyer was telling me that what they're doing is they're giving them money and protecting them and putting them in better places. So a rat will be like, you know what? I'm going to say so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so try to hurt me because this person just shot at me earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and lie on him and say he tried to kill me, get him locked up, and get myself in a gated community where nobody can't get to me because they got to protect me. That's how all rats talk. I'm telling y'all, man, don't fall into their trap. Kingearner live and direct.